Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. Today's video is another one in my series where I like to share my favorite different types of polish. I've been kind of on a streak of toppers lately, and I just the other day posted one about my favorite iridescent flake toppers. I'll put a link in the description to that whole playlist in case y'all want to check that out. And today I'm talking about, well, you can see from the title, my favorite black, silver, and gold flake toppers. I didn't think I was gonna have to split the remaining flake toppers down even more, but what had happened was I thought, okay, I can separate out the iridescent flakes, and then I'll just have like the flakes that are like a single color, and then the remaining ones would be like the ones that are multiple colors, like multi-chrome flake toppers. But then as I was doing that, I realized like just across black, silver, and gold, that was enough for an entire video. So that's part of the reason why I separate them out like this today. But I also will say that in my in my process of preparing for this video and trying to swatch out those the flake toppers that you'll see today, and me trying to figure out exactly what type of polishes I wanted to put them over to show you some examples of that, I was very surprised by what I found. I'll say that there are a few of the toppers you'll see today that I'm putting over darker base colors, but the surprising thing for me was that the majority of these work best, in my opinion, at least, over lighter colors. So like, for example, let's say there's like a silver flake topper. I thought, okay, silver flakes, I can put that over like a dark blue and that'll look like, I don't know, snowflakes falling in the sky, right? I mean, technically I could do that, but I was surprised by how I just didn't like the end result. And so then I decided to pivot, take a different approach, and focus more on colors that are like in the middle of like not too light, not too dark, and then also going for lighter colors. Y'all, it's to the point where this worked out so well. It even inspired the manicure that I have on now. Like, this is a combination I never would have thought to do had it not been for me sitting down and testing out these toppers today. So as always, I encourage you to take out a swatch wheel, take out some swatch sticks, and even if you don't have the exact flake toppers that I'll be showing in the video today, I really do think it could be fun and helpful for you all to say, like, when I get to the silver ones, you take inventory of your own and see what silver toppers you have, and use this time to like test them out over other polishes that you have. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Those of you who have been watching my videos for a while will probably not be at all surprised to see that I am starting this video with my probably, I think if I had to choose like a top favorite topper of all the ones I have across different finishes, it's got to be this one, Cracked Polish Mascara Flakes. Now, I usually start talking about it a bit before I swatch it out, but you can't see in here, so let me swatch this out first. And by the way, just a little logistics note, what I'm doing here is I've got half white, half black, using Cracked Polish, crinkled linens, and Bee's Knees Lacquer Void, and I also have put top coat over the white and black ones so that they won't really smudge, because I've been having that issue a little bit, but everything should be completely dry now. Okay, so here is Mascara Flakes, and y'all, I wear this topper so often. It is one of the ones that my husband recognizes by name. So like after I do my nails and then I show it to him and I'm like, look at my nails. And he's like, oh, that's so nice. Oh, and you use Mascara Flakes. And it's just great that he like recognizes it. This is, as you can see, a black flake topper. One of the things I really love about Mascara Flakes is that the flakes in here are not huge. I know often when you, at least when I personally think of the concept of flake toppers, I think of larger flakes. And I've got a couple of those that I'll show you all later in this video, but I knew for myself wanting a black flake topper, I kind of wanted like, this, you know, if this weren't called mascara flakes, you could also call it like cookies and cream, like Oreo crumble, something like that. Also, I love that I still took the effort to swatch this over black because I love to be that thorough. Yeah, but it ain't doing nothing over there, so don't put this over black. Okay. Now, to give you an example of what you can do with mascara flakes, this is one where I just thought, okay, like I could show you all just about any polish in my collection and mascara flakes is going to look good over it. It works well over bright colors. It works well over pastels. It just does everything. But what I wanted to do was to focus more on showing you a good way to use it over a different type of finish, which in this case is going to be like a flaky polish. The one that I'm using is Emily Damali Half Orange, and it is this really beautiful magenta polish that I've built up here in 3 coats. And if you're someone who also loves wearing this type of polish, you most likely have seen other ones like this that have black small flakes sprinkled throughout. And I know sometimes you'll see ones like this that don't have that. I don't know what it is about the inclusion of black flakes, but it just, I think it adds just the right amount of variety, a little bit more visual interest. I don't know. So let's say you've got a flake polish like this and you like it, but you just feel like it's missing something. What I recommend that you do, try it with something like mascara flakes. So here's the before. And here's the after. I mean, that right? It's okay. This is one of the times where I'll say that like the way I personally approach the filming videos is that I like to imagine that I'm actually talking to you all, even though I'm like here in my room by myself. But this is one of the moments where I wish that I had someone sitting across the table from me so that I could show this to them like right now and be like, doesn't mascara flakes make such a huge difference for this polish? It just like, for me, it doesn't like darken the polish, even though you're putting specks of black on there, but it just, hopefully y'all can understand what I'm saying. Like it just does something there. I'll also note that even though I built this up in 3 coats, one of the things I was considering as I was planning for this video was, do I need to put mascara flakes like in between layers as well? Like, do I need that level of black in here? And my opinion is that you don't. I think that you can get away with just building up the polish on its own as you normally would, and then just put on 1 coat of mascara flakes. I feel that if you were to do it where like I did 1 coat of half orange, then mascara flakes, then another coat of half orange, then mascara, that would build up to like 6 coats of nail polish. And as I often say on this channel, ain't nobody got time for that. And also it would probably be kind of goopy. So in short, mascara flakes, if you are a huge fan of crack polish like I am, but you have not yet purchased mascara flakes, please pick this up on your next order with them. It is just such a versatile topper. And I guess the last thing I'll say about this is that it's a great one to have in your collection for times where you are just like, you don't know what to wear, but you know you want something that looks visually interesting. So yeah, that's my recommendation there. I'm going to, yes, that is the other thing. So for this video, as I was planning this out, one of the things I thought would be very helpful to mention and include would be my thoughts on whether or not I feel that it's necessary to use a glitter smoother like this one, Glisten and Glow Glitter Grabber, on top of these, because even if you are using just like a regular cream polish like the black and white here, but then putting flakes on top of it, depending on the texture of the flake topper, you may or may not need to add a glitter smoother to kind of give you a more even surface to work from before you then put on your final top coat. So in this case, when you're using mascara flakes over just anything like a cream polish, acrylic, anything like that, a jelly, I don't think that you need a glitter smoother. These flakes are very small and lay down very flat without adding any or much additional texture. However, I would personally use it over what I've done here with the combination for half orange, not because of mascara flakes, but because of the flakes in half orange. Like if you just kind of take a look from the side, you can see it's, you know, it's not like it's rough or anything, but I just personally prefer put a glitter smoother on, let that sit for 5-10 minutes so it's completely dry, and then go in with top coat. So I'm going to do that, add top coat to these, glitter smoother and top coat for this one, and then let's take a look at it in some other lighting. Our next topper comes from Fancy Gloss. This one is Gunmetal Shards. I figured this would be a really good polish to position here as a tradition, or as a transition rather, between black and silver. This kind of sits a bit in the middle there. Let me show you how this one looks over white and black. You know, I've had this one in my collection for, I think, a few months now, but haven't really figured out until now how I might want to best wear it. So here's how Gunmetal Shards looks over white and black. Now, this is where we're getting into the importance of what I was mentioning earlier about the size of the flakes here. And I think it's also important to consider flake density when you are picking out your glitter toppers. For me personally, aside from mascara flakes, which I think is really perfect at this density, when it comes to larger flake toppers, this is the type of density that I personally prefer, because I can always build this up more if I want to, but there are also times when I may want a more sparse look like what we've got going on here. So I think that, you know, over black, not really seeing it. Over white, that's kind of nice. What I'm going to do for showing you some examples though, I wanted to illustrate how this looks when it's used in a jelly sandwich, meaning that I'm using a couple of jelly polishes for each of these nails. I've put down 2 coats each, and now I'm going to put in Gunmetal Shards, and then I'm going to put another coat of the jelly on top of it. So since this needs to sit for a bit, I'm actually going to swatch out the Gunmetal Shards first so that can have some time to marinate, and then I'm going to talk about which jelly polishes I'm using here. Okay, so the black one is Emily Damali Sheer Tint Shadow. This is a fantastic black jelly polish. It is, yeah, I've enjoyed this one so much. This is actually my second bottle of it, because the first one that I have, if you can see, it's like kind of down there. So my plan is, like, once this one, the new one, gets low, I can just empty the rest of this in there. But yeah, I went through that one pretty well because I use it a lot. If you don't already have a black jelly polish in your collection, I highly recommend this one. Because of how it is buildable. Like, you want something that is black enough to be recognized as black in just a couple coats like I've done here, but not something that is so dark or so pigmented that you can't have that flexibility. In the green one, Also from Emily DeMolly, this one is Sheer Tint Forest. And yeah, another fantastic one to put in your collection. So here's what I've done here. I've got my black, my green, and I've put gunmetal shards on both of these. Now, you could leave this as is, absolutely. But my personal preference is to add another coat of the jelly polish over each of them to kind of encapsulate it and give it a really cool look. So let's start with the black one first. Now what this does is that it it's doing a couple things. It's continuing to build up the opacity slightly, of course, because it's a jelly of the black. You're not at full opacity here, that's okay. But I love that what this is doing is making it so that the gunmetal shards topper is given a slightly darker tint that I love. You might probably see one of these kind of poking up there. I'm gonna come back to that in just a moment, but let me do the same thing for Sheer Tint Forest. This one, I was really very happy when I saw the result of this as I was planning out this video. Okay, and that's your result over green. Now, what I love here is that just like with black, the gunmetal shards topper does get a slight tint to it as a result of being covered by this jelly, but not so much to the extent where you can't recognize it as this like gunmetal silver color that it is. So that would be my recommendation if you have something like this kind of larger flake topper and you're kind of struggling to figure out how to use it. Consider using it in a jelly sandwich. However, and let me see if I can zoom in on this even more. If I hold the swatch wheel at this angle like that, you can probably see where there is a flake right in the middle there that is poking up. And I didn't notice that earlier, but normally when I use my kind of flake toppers like this, that is something that oh yeah, you can even see it from here. I'm also seeing it in the black and white one next to it. This is a weird angle I've never done on this channel before, but here we are. But yeah, this is something that I typically will try to look out for and catch before I move on and let them dry. But if it's the case that you're in the same boat, oh wow, look at that one on the black. It's poking up like a shark fin. Okay, sorry, I have to do something real quick. Hold up, I can't not do this. Okay. Do 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 do. Okay, I zoomed in as much as I could. And of course the zooming, it made it blurry, made it look like I was taking a Bigfoot video. So anyway, what I was saying, I think, is this is where you will absolutely benefit from putting on a glitter smoother. And in case you've never used one of those, I think that this polish would be a good opportunity for me to show you just how that can work. And so let's see if this will make a difference. I mean, it should make some difference. I know that there are some polishes, some flake toppers I have in my collection that can tend to be so spiky that I sometimes even have to put down 2 coats of a glitter grabber to add enough of like another like layer of polish over them so that they won't stick up as much. So hopefully this will make our shark fin go away. Okay, now I'm gonna look at it from the same angle again. Let's see. Yeah, so you see here how it's like it's sort of it's helping. It's definitely not giving shark fin like it was before. Let me do the black one as well just to see how this goes. I think with these swatches, I'm probably just going to keep it at one coat of a glitter grabber and then top coat, just because I've got so much more swatching to do after this, and because I'm not actually like wearing these. But if I were to wear these combinations, I would absolutely, like I mentioned, make sure that I was smoothing out on my own with the flake topper brush any stray ones that like to stick up, and then also use a glitter grabber. So I know that one on the black was really sticking up, but yeah, that actually helped. So hopefully you can see the difference there. This would absolutely be a scenario where I would go in with a second coat of glitter grabber before top coat, but yeah. So I'm gonna let the glitter grabber sit, put on some top coat, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, now we're moving into silver. The next topper comes from Crack Polish. It's called a Sprinkle of Twinkle. I originally grabbed this one off of my rack of polishes when I was planning out my favorite glitter toppers video, but then I looked closer at it. I was like, wait, that's not glitter. It's actually small flakes. So I knew that I needed to put this one to the side and come back to it for, well, this video. This is, I mean, the name says exactly what it is. It really is a sprinkle of twinkle, because this is a very twinkly polish. So let me show you how it looks over white and black. I love this one so much. I actually recently bought a backup of it because I realized I was going through it pretty quickly. Okay, this one, oh my goodness, it just sparkles. It is, I think where this one shines the best, literally, is over lighter polishes, like the white side here. On black, I mean, it's there. You know, it's doing its thing, but I feel like if you're wanting some kind of like actual sparkle over black, that's where you probably want to go with something like a silver scattered hollow topper, and not something like this, because you're gonna get from this silver and not necessarily like any kind of color shifty sparkle. But over a lighter color like white, that doesn't really make a difference. I think that like the lighter color here really works well with the silver that's in a Sprinkle of Twinkle. For the first color that I'm going to show this over, this is also from Cracked. It's a light blue Crelly called Breakfast at Monique's, and I've built this up here in 3 coats. And Breakfast at Monique's is a polish that I originally wasn't quite sure what to do with it, because on its own, I feel like it's not the best color for me. I mean, it looks okay here, but once I tested out combining it with a Sprinkle of Twinkle, suddenly I'm like, oh, okay, that pops. That actually, it does something. It comes alive. So let me zoom in again and y'all check this out. Like, at least for me, there's a difference there. Like, seeing the difference that it makes when I have that additional, like the additional speckle, the additional sparkle that's there. And like I said, when I was talking about this over black, I'm not looking for like hollow here, but what this does give is just, you know, as you move your finger around and the lighting, it does pick up that lighting. And I think something like Breakfast at Monique's really showcases that very well. I also wanted to show it over something like this pink blush glitter polish that I've built up in 3 coats. And I don't know why I did this, but I think I did this because I was like, this probably isn't gonna work. And it's because I think it's not gonna work that it probably will work. And yeah, so here's the result of that combination. Oh, that's okay. this is, okay, maybe I'm a little biased because I think I've mentioned before that I take dance classes, and the new session is starting up tomorrow night, and I've got dance on the mind. So, but this is like sparkly ballerina right here. I love this combination. And I was very shocked by this because I thought, okay, this blush color would probably work well with gold, but not with silver, right? No, that I feel like the silver addition of a sprinkle of Twinkle here helps to make that pink, this blush, something that it lightens it. It gives it a certain, like, more airiness. It amplifies it in a way that brings it up, whereas before it was kind of just like brought down. And I love that combination. Maybe this is what I should wear to dance class tomorrow night. Okay, I actually signed up for 2 classes this season. I've been so fun fact about me, I've been doing tap dancing for like 15 or 16 years now. And then I also, this semester, I signed up to do musical theater dance class. So jazz hands. Anyway, yeah. So going on to the question of, do we need a glitter smoother on top of a sprinkle of Twinkle? Initially, my answer is going to be no, but then when I took a look at the side view of this, you know, I think over black is probably where you're going to see this the most right now. Those small flakes are raised ever so slightly over the surface. Not nearly to the extent of what we saw with the Gunmetal Shards, but a little bit more than what we had in the beginning with Mascara Flakes. So my recommendation, if you're using a sprinkle of Twinkle or a similar topper in your collection, definitely consider putting a glitter smoother over top of that. It's not going to dull the sparkle, but what it will do is just give you a better, smoother finish before you put your top coat on. The next topper comes from Jen & Berries. It's called Magic Show. This one is a holographic flake topper that is silver. There's a few things I want to say about this one, but it's going to make more sense when I actually show you what it looks like on swatched out, because it's a little bit hard to tell how this goes when it's not. So let me put this over white and black. Yeah, I have used this topper quite a bit in many of my dupe attempt videos, and because anytime that there's a polish that says it contains silver holographic flakes, I'm like, oh, that means I'm using Magic Show. So if you're unfamiliar with this kind of finish, like holographic flakes, I believe this is what Holo Taco uses in their, what they call their crushed hollow finish. So it's like you get the benefit of hollow, like the color shiftiness, compared to, say, what I mentioned about a sprinkle of Twinkle, where it does pick up light and respond to that, but you only get silver. Whereas with a holographic flake topper like Magic Show, you're going to get some color in there a little bit. I'm not seeing it as much in this lighting, but hopefully when I take this down to some other lighting, it'll pick it up a little bit more there. Now, let's see, where do I want to start with this? So let's start by talking about the density of this here. I know I sound like a broken record talking about flake density, but it seriously is one of the things that when you are either shopping for flake toppers or trying to decide which flake toppers in your collection that you want to use, it makes a difference whether you have something that has a higher level of density like what's here in Magic Show versus something that is more sparse like what we had over here with Gunmetal Shards. Really what I'm referring to is the question of, to what extent is that flake topper covering up whatever polish you're putting it over? And not every polish, not every topper is going to work well with what you choose to put it over, because sometimes it just gives a look that maybe might not be the most flattering. So going into the question of white versus black, this is what really led me to see how, at least in my opinion, Magic Show tends to look better over lighter colors, like it is here over white. This would be a fantastic one to wear over just white. Like if you want to, you know, just wear white but then have it look like you just like threw a snowball and a bunch of the snow got on your fingernails. That's the vibe right there. On the black side, I mean, I will say once again, if what you're looking for is to have some kind of rainbow color sparkle with a topper that you put over black, your best bet is going to be to do it with a silver scattered hollow topper and not a silver hollow flake topper like Magic Show, because I think that Magic Show, it's like I can sort of see the color shiftiness in here, but it looks more dusty than flattering to me personally over darker colors. And so what I wanted to do was to take things a step further and not only show you how Magic Show looks over lighter colors, but to also do so with different finishes other than the creams that we've put it over here. And in my testing, I'll say that I really love how Magic Show appears when you put it over shimmer polishes like the ones I'm going to explain. So the first one comes from Great Lakes Lacquer. It's called a Butterfly, and this is a sort of a silvery gray shimmer base with, looks like there might be some linear hollow in there, but there's also like this reddish orange shimmer to it. I've put that here in 2 coats. So okay, hope you're ready for this, because we're gonna transform this. I know I'm hyping this up, but y'all, here's why. Take a look at how this is looking over black right now. I'm gonna zoom in just to remind you, okay? That's what I was like, that's not it for me. So let me show you what it does when I put it over a shimmer topper like a butterfly. Yup. That is everything. It is, you know how I said there was like dustiness, or it looked like dust to me over a darker color. That's because over a darker color, you really do see the like shape of the holographic flakes in a way that you really don't when you put it over something like a butterfly. I would say even, I think it even looks better over a butterfly than it does over just basic white, because even just over white, you still do see a lot more of the size and shape of those holographic flakes. When you put it over a butterfly, what you're getting is all of the sparkle, all of the like color shiftiness without seeing the size and shape of the flakes. It's like the flakes kind of just melt into the background there in a fantastic way. Okay, so that was one. I also want to show y'all how this looks over another Jen & Berry's polish. This one is called Remember the Can't, and it is a dusty gray shimmer topper that's, or not, let me take that back. It's not a shimmer topper. It's a dusty blue shimmer polish that I've built up here in 2 coats. So y'all, there's a reason why this is called Magic Show, because it really does feel magical. Okay, so here it is. Okay, with this one, I think that you can see the size and shape of the flakes a little bit more than you could in a butterfly, but not in a bad way. I think that the size and shape of the flakes being present over white and black, it's in a way where you're like, okay, I'm seeing more of that than I thought I would, but that's okay. Whereas over even like Remember the Can't, it just feels like, oh, I'm seeing more sparkle here. And that to me is like these two here. That's how this topper can best be utilized. I feel like I'm being very spirited right now, but this is just one of the reasons why I love making these videos, because I think that part of the magic of using nail polish is discovering which polish combinations can work best together, and realizing that not every topper is going to be the best fit for every polish that you could put it over. And so when I come across combinations like putting Magic Show over a butterfly or Remember the Can, it's fantastic to me because I still get everything that I love out of each of these two polishes, and knowing that this topper is not taking away anything from that. What it's doing is just adding on to that. Okay, now the question of, do we need a glitter smoother? Nah, this topper lays down very, very flat. You don't need to worry about putting a glitter topper over this whatsoever. My advice though, for something like this where you do have a higher density of flakes though, be very intentional, I guess I would say, about how you apply your polish. So trust your brush to give a good even coverage over it without you needing to go back to the bottle too many times, because what you don't want to have happen is that you accidentally build it up too much. So yeah, Magic Show, I love it. I can't wait to see the sparkle and smother lighting. The next topper is a silver one from Monarch Lacquer. It is called Falling for Frost. And as you can see on the label, it is a matte topper. If you've never worked with a matte topper before, don't worry. I'm going to, throughout this, give you all some tips and guidance for how to use them. But just the sparkle here, oh, I just love this one so much. So this one I'm going to start with over white and black, and as this dries you'll be able to see how it mattifies. Okay, while that's drying, well, let's just talk for a moment about some things like the flake density. So this one is it's more on the dense side than, say, the Gunmetal Shards topper that we were working with earlier. And so this is an example of how a little can go a long way in terms of how you're using it. I think that it is a fantastic topper to have in your collection if you do need a silver one though, because I think that if you do choose to put top coat on it, it sparkles, it shines, it is fantastic. Now, the thing about working with matte toppers, if you've never used them before, it's a common question to wonder, do you, like, if you want it to continue to have a matte finish, do you just keep it as it is? Like, do you even need top coat? And my personal recommendation, and the way I personally approach this, which I know can seem a little convoluted, but it works, is you start with the matte topper like this. Then you put on your regular quick dry top coat, but then it's glossy. So then after that, you go in with a matte top coat like this one, and that puts it matte again. The reason you would want to do this is so that your manicure will still have that layer of protection that you get from the quick dry top coat, but then you can put matte on top of it and it will re-mattify it. So I love how this looks as matte over black. Like, that's intense right there. Like, that's some good stuff. Over white, not too bad. I think it is, I don't know. I'm not leaning towards it as much over white, but just there's something about it over black where I think, because normally with like any kind of flake topper, you're not seeing all of the bright color aspect of every flake at once. It's more like depending on the angle that you're looking at it from. Like if I go back to, say, our Gunmetal Shards one, for example, you see how the light sort of bounces off of that in a way where you're like, oh, I see that flake more now. Now I see that one. over here with this, you just see all of it at once, and it really feels like you're looking at a black and white stained glass window. So I just think that's really cool. So yeah, to recap, you start with the matte topper, put your quick dry top coat over it, and then put the matte top coat on it. But that's only if you want to have it be matte. You could absolutely put a quick dry top coat over this and have it be glossy again. And I'll show you an example of that. So next example is going to be from Cracked Polish. This one's called O-Type Star. It is like a dusty blue polish that's got some really nice blue shimmer running through it. I chose this one because well, let me see what I had to remind myself of why I chose that one. I can't remember. There's a lot of polishes on this one, y'all. Oh yeah, that's why. Okay. I felt that adding silver over O-Type Star would really help to bring out the more like silvery gray aspects of this polish, especially when this topper dries down to a matte finish. I'm gonna move on to the next one while that one's drying so that we can see this happen for both of them. The pink one that I have here is from Great Lakes Lacquer. It's called the Village Chief. It's pink with like a green yellowish teal, maybe yellow green shimmer running throughout. Let me go ahead and put Falling for Frost on top of this one too. Okay. And if you're looking at this one and thinking, huh, where have I seen that before? Hi. This is a combination that I love so much that I knew I needed to wear it as a full manicure. Now mine may not look as bright pink because in order to get full opacity, which I prefer, I decided to wear the Village Chief over a like nude cream polish to function as like a blurring base coat, but I still love how this turned out. For myself personally, I went back and forth on the question over whether I wanted to wear it as matte or glossy, and this is just for me personally, but when I kept it matte, it just made my hands look really, it made them look dry. It made them look kind of dull. And that's not to say that anytime you wear matte, it's going to do that. I think it was just something about this particular color combination on me that felt that way. But that's why I decided to keep it glossy. But if we take a look at what we've got here from O-Type Star being mattified, you can see it's doing the exact same thing that I mentioned that is happening over black, where you just see all of that silver like up front right there all at once. Now you can see that over the Village Chief as well. For the purposes of showing you this and some other lighting, I will be keeping these matte. I think that sometimes I feel like actually doing the process of adding a quick dry top coat and then re-mattifying it can actually give you an even more matte-like finish if that's what you're going for. At least it feels like that when I take a look at it. But this, I think, is a great combination. Like using a shimmer with this kind of topper is an excellent choice, because I think what the matte finish does is that it almost helps to sort of freeze that shimmer a little bit. I mean, you can still see that the color is shifting, but it just looks very icy. It looks very frozen. So I really like this combination. I've got to say, the Village Chief, that is a polish that I definitely have not worn. I was gonna say I haven't worn it this year, and we're on what, January 4th. I don't think I wore it at all in 2025. So yeah, it's great that I now have found a combination that helps me to get some good use out of it. Before we go on to the next polish, a couple things. One, I think I forgot to talk about whether or not you need a glitter smoother with Falling for Frost. I would personally use one. I think that it is a polish that You know, you're not going to have the same issue that we had with some of the earlier polishes with having like spiky flakes or anything like that, but you will, like, if you run your finger over your nail with top coat on it, you will still feel some texture there. So if you are someone who prefers to have a completely smooth finish on your nails, my recommendation would be to use a glitter smoother with this one. But I also wanted to come back briefly and show you what these look like with the glossy finish, since once this quick dry top coat dries, I'm going to go back and re-mattify them. Our next topper comes from Mooncat. This one is called Fool's Gold, and it is a gold flake matte topper. So very similar to, okay, so it's similar to the previous one, Falling for Frost, in that it's a matte topper, but I would say in terms of like size and density, you'll see in just a moment that it's the flakes are smaller and they're more packed in. So this is a topper where if you do not like gold, I mean, you'll see there's a lot of it in here. Okay, I didn't realize I was like halfway through my bottle. My goodness. Okay, and yeah, because of the flake density, that is why I did not go back in for another, you know, some more polish to put on here. It's jam-packed there. I think that this is a really, really great gold flake topper, where it's like you get the benefit of having gold, but without it coming across as too blingy, too gaudy, or anything like that. I personally think that it, like white or black, see, I think here I like how it looks over white. I've never worn it over black, but I'm not fully mad at it. But yeah, so magic. It has been mattified, and what we've got here is the end result. Oh, I haven't yet remattified these over here, so those are still glossy at the moment. But yeah, we've got this split here. When I was thinking about what other types of polishes to show this over, one that came to mind was the idea of, well, gold on gold. For those of y'all who really do love gold, then this is a great combination for you. So zombie claw polish, squashioning, like, okay, look at that small little cute squash there. That's the most adorable thing. This is a polish that I think could really benefit from having gold on it, because if you've got like some gold shimmer here, but you're feeling that it's missing something, but you're not quite sure what that missing piece is, it could very well be the case that the missing piece is some additional gold texture. So we'll take a look at this here. You still get the benefit of everything that you like about the underlying polish, squashioning, but you know, now that you move the finger around or the nail around, you can see that there's more to it than just the shimmer, but the gold doesn't stand out in a way that makes it feel like it doesn't belong there. It's just, it feels like it's part of that polish all along. I feel that way, especially as it starts to mattify. Like, this just really all comes together in a very beautiful way. The other polish that I wanted to pair this with is a greenish, dusty, teal leaning cream from Essie called Lucite of Reality. And for this one, I knew I wanted to put it over some kind of cream that wasn't white or black, but I couldn't figure out which one. And I think something that's in this kind of colorway is, didn't even pick up that much on the brush that time. This is a really good compromise between light and dark. And once this mattifies, I think you'll see why I selected this. Okay. Now I'm someone who very rarely wears polishes with the matte finish. I just prefer glossy for the most part. But when I was preparing for this video and I saw how this dried down matte, okay, y'all know how I get when I talk about comparisons. My comparison here, this looks like a Fabergé egg. Like, it looks like a Fabergé egg. You know, probably one of the more simple Fabergé eggs, because, you know, some of them can be very just fancy and blinged out. But what this does here is that as far as flake density, Fool's Gold will end up, if it's not something like gold here, you will, like gold on gold, you will see more of the gold flakes standing out compared to some of the other flake toppers that we've covered. So that's, I think, part of why you want to be selective with what you pair this with, knowing that it has to be a good color combination. And I think that this one is absolutely stunning. This would be a fantastic like fall, winter polish to wear. And yeah, for both of these, I think choose to keep them as matte, especially this one, because I think to keep it feeling like a Fabergé egg, I would probably keep it like, oh, now I want to, okay, I think I just had a new video idea. Nail art inspired by Fabergé eggs. Okay, I'm adding it to my list. Let me know if you want to see that. So yeah, same thing applies as what I said earlier about working with matte finishes and top coats and all that. So I'm going to keep these matte, and let's go ahead and see them in other lighting. Oh, and real quick, here's how these three swatches look with the glossy finish. I think that it looks better glossy with Fool's Gold over black, absolutely. I could see gold going either way, like glossy is great for this, as is matte. White, I think, might look better matte, and definitely my Fabergé egg over here, the green cream, I think it looks better mattified, personally. Our final topper for this video comes from ILNP. It's called Party Popper. You can imagine why every time I want to say the name of this polish, I have to slow down a bit because I feel like I might say something else if I say it too fast. This one I definitely want to zoom in on so that you can see that it's made up of these like very small silver and gold flakes together. This is one that I would say the flakes here have about the same size and consistency as what we had in Fool's Gold, and because of that, for both of these polishes, I will say that you do not need to use a glitter smoother. But let me show you how it looks over white and black. I think this is a fantastic polish to use for times where you just like, you can't decide if you want to use like a silver topper or a gold topper. Why not both, right? And so hopefully you can see what I mean about the same, basically like the same size and density as what we had in Fool's Gold. Because we're putting it over white, I think that the silver flakes in here tend to blend into the background a little bit more, and that's why we're picking up a lot more of that density over on the black side. And when it came to the question of what kind of polishes I wanted to put this over, for a lot of this video, actually, the way I approached it was to go through my collection and ask myself, what are some of the polishes that I just have not worn? Like I wore them maybe once, but then not since then. And could I potentially try to pair it with a topper and see if that topper will help me to find a new love of this polish? And one perfect example of that is this one from Wildflower Lacquer called Wildflower at Heart. Y'all, this is a thick polish. It's good. It's got a lot of like shimmer, I think some very fine hollow glitter in there. And there's just something about this particular color though that I've never really liked up against my skin tone too much. So like, I mean, it's okay, but it just doesn't really do much for me personally. So I thought, why not try Topper with it? And here's how it looks combined with Party Popper. I mean, that, let's zoom in on that. That just makes all the difference to me. It gives it that additional sparkle that just elevates it for me. And it, you know, you still have everything that's in the base polish, Wildflower at heart, but it just changes this in a way that gives you even more dimension and depth and some more visual interest. So as you all are watching this and trying to figure out like, okay, you know which flake toppers you have in your collection, how do you possibly go about trying to narrow down your potential polishes to pair with them? Honestly, my recommendation is start with the polishes that you just have not worn in forever, and you might be surprised with the end result. Okay, and the last one, we have filled up this entire swatch wheel, is from Great Lakes Lacquer. This is called The Sun Will Rise and Warm You Today. It is a beautiful teal shimmer polish. And I think that something like Party Popper works excellently over polishes that have shimmer, because like we're seeing in the one over Wildflower Lacquer, I think like with the silver, you don't like, maybe you can see some of the silver shape, but I feel like the gold flakes have just completely blended into the background. So you get that benefit of extra sparkle, but without seeing too much extra stuff. So here's how it looks over this one. Okay. Yeah, once again, lots of great sparkle. I think that you do still see the flakes a bit, but not nearly as much as you do over black. I think there's just something about the nature of shimmer polishes that makes it so that when you combine this kind of flake topper over it, it just brings it alive that much more. So let's go ahead and take a look at these in some other lighting, and then we'll go and get wrapped up. So that was a lot of swatching, but I hope this video has helped you all to get a better sense of some of the ways that you can use the various flake toppers that you have in your collection. As I was preparing for this video and as I was filming this today, one of the main takeaways that came to mind for me was that I hope that if nothing else, this video has helped you to see some examples of other types of flake toppers that are out there beyond the ones that I know you may be most familiar with, like the ones that are probably, I would say, most similar to like the Fancy Gloss Gunmetal Shards, where it's like that size and shape of flake. But then beyond that, we've got things like micro flakes, we've got holographic flakes, we've got the mascara flakes, like that kind of size and density and so on. There really is so much that you can do with flakes, especially when you have some key staples in your collection that are black, silver, and gold. I'm glad that I isolated these for their own video, because I think that when you take a look at black, silver, and gold flake toppers, those are colors that you can mix and match so many different ways and really elevate the polish that you put underneath it. The thing is, you just kind of have to get a sense of what's going to work best with something else, and probably you want to have some idea of what's going to work before you say sit down to do your nails for like a really big special occasion, and then suddenly you're freaking out because you're like, oh my goodness, what do I pair with this? So I can't stress enough how beneficial it can be to go through the process of doing this kind of experimentation, see what works, see what doesn't, and then when you find out what does work for you, document that on a swatch wheel, however you want to keep track of it. And this way, whenever you get that feeling of, I have nothing to wear, you pull out your reference guide and suddenly you have these like greatest hits that you can refer back to and have this inspiration for a look that you can put onto your nails. So yeah, we've got more topper videos coming up. So if you aren't already subscribed, I encourage you to do so that you don't miss out. For those of you who already are subscribed, thank you all so much. I was looking at my like YouTube studio page today and saw I'm up to like 440 something subscribers, which it seriously feels like just yesterday that I was talking to a colleague of mine at work about my channel, and we were talking and I told him about this, and I was at 49 subscribers at the time, and he then said, oh, hey, then I'll be your 50th one. So Charlie, if you're watching this, hi and thank you. But and thank you all so much as well, like for being here, for watching these videos, for all of the comments and interactivity that you have, not just commenting to me, but I see you all commenting and replying to each other. It just, I'll say that, I mean, I wasn't planning on going on a whole like emotional outpour right now in this outro, but I will say this. I think that this past year has been a very rough and very dark one for so many of us, myself included, in many ways. Beyond that, I'm someone who every year I struggle with seasonal depression because of how literally how dark it is outside. And I just am so glad that I decided a few months ago to take the leap and to try something new, try something creative. And don't get me wrong, some of my days are still dark and dreary, but I feel that having this channel as a creative outlet has done so much for me to help boost my spirits, and knowing that I'm creating content that can be helpful for so many of you who might just be looking for someone to watch while you're doing your dishes, or someone to put on TV while you just need like a calm, reassuring voice who's kind of making some weird jokes about sharks sometimes. You know, I can be that for you. All of this is to say, thank you all so much for being here on this channel. It truly means a lot to me. I'm always so inspired to continue making videos that are not just fun for me, but that are enjoyable and educational for you all. So I'm gonna stop talking now before I start crying on something. But thank you all again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.